What's going on? It's your boy Zesty 215 here, coach of the DC Goomies, back with the week 4 team builder and battle for the UTBL. This week we're going against Atlanta Mel and the Oakland Roserades. He is a rain team. He has Kartana, Pelipper, Tornadus Eye, Chesnall, Rotomo, Lapras, Goodra, Vaporeon, Escadrille, Kingdra, and Swampert Mega. So right off the bat, we already know Pelipper's coming, Mega Swampert's coming. Kingdra's probably going to come to help with the rain team. I think Goodra's coming. I've seen a couple of his battles, and he likes to run a sleep talk type of Goodra set. Chesnall could come just because I do have an electric Pokemon, so Chesnall can kind of just soak in those attacks. And I think Tornadus Eye will come because it gives him momentum, and I believe it has no. Does it have regenerate? No, I don't think so. But I think Tornadus is going to come as well. So those are the 6 I think are going to come: Tornadus, Pelipper, Chesnall, Goodra, Kingdra, and Mega Swampert. That is his team. Stay tuned. You're going to see my team next. I'm back. So to start our team builder off, we're going to start with Klefki. This is going to be our guaranteed lead. This is mostly just here to get up spikes and to try to get a toxic off on that Pelipper, because I do believe Pelipper is going to be the lead because it is a rain team, and I think he just wants to get Pelipper in and then get Swampert in and just try to knock down as many Pokemon as possible before he has to use the rest of his mons. That's typically how I've played rain teams, and that's typically how they go. Now, obviously, he's a different human, so he might do his team completely differently, but I can only build my team based off of my experience. So I'm going to bring Klefki in because Klefki can pretty much take any hit from Pelipper in the rain, I believe. I'm just going to double check. Yeah, it can take pretty much any hit from Pelipper. So this is going to be our lead. If we can get Pelipper on the Toxic, that would be great. And then also get some layers of spikes up that way, because he most likely will be making a lot of switches in. And even though all of his flying Pokemon, they will avoid the spikes, his grounded Pokemon such as Mega Swampert, Goodra, Chesnall, Vaporeon, and Kingdra will all be taking that chip damage every time they switch in and out. So either force him to say, you know what, I'm not going to be switching as much, or hey, I'll just have to deal with the damage. So with that being said, we're running Play Rough, obviously just on there for some coverage. It won't do much to the Goodra, but any damage on the Goodra would be good. Like I said, he could be running that rest sleep talk set, but Play Rough would do about 60 to 80% to a Goodra. So this is mainly what this thing is on there for, but I do have to be careful because Goodra can have Fire Blast, and Fire Blast will straight up murder this set. So we are running 252 in the HP, 252 in the special D, and 4 in the defense, and it is a careful nature. Next we have Mesprit, who's running Psychium Z. We have Thunder, Grass Knot, Psychic, and U-Turn. Thunder's on there because if the rain is up, I can kind of take advantage of Thunder. Once I show him that I have Thunder, it will be doing massive damage to most of his Pokemon. And once he sees that I have that, I want him to switch out and go to Mega Swampert to try to eat a Thunder, and then we click Grass Knot, and I think we do. We would straight up OHKO the Mega Swampert. Just gonna double check on that. But yeah, as you can see, the EV spread for it is 60 in the HP, 6 in the special attack, 252 in the special D, and 190 in the speed. This speed allows me to outspeed any other base 80s on his team, or lower than base 80s on his team, and really allow for me to set the advantage. I even believe it outspeeds Mega Swampert without Rain. So this is kind of what the whole team is built on. Rain not being up. Now understand Rain's going to be up for 8 turns, but we're going to do our best to try to limit the amount of Pokemon that will go down, because once we take Pelipper out, he really has no other way of setting up Rain. It's not like we're in Gen 8 and he can Gigantamax. So this is the Mesprit set for today. I really think we can pick off some kills. The Psychium Z move Psychic will do over 50% to any Pokemon that comes in. So that just having that chip damage on anything would be great, because as you can see on the team, we do have Mega Lopunny, and Mega Lopunny loves just coming in and just taking out kills and picking off kills. Next we have Victini. Now it is very dangerous to bring Victini to this matchup due to the fact that it is a Rain team, and with Rain being up, all my fire moves would be doing less and all his water moves would be doing more. So, but I think we can, if we position it in a certain way, we can try to do our best with it. Like I said, if the Rain is gone, I'm not really worried about any other Pokemon in this team, because we're running Choice Scarf Victini, 175 with a naive nature, and the Choice Scarf will outspeed anything on his team. Obviously not Mega Swampert in the Rain, but anything else it would outspeed, except for the Tornadus. But I do not believe his Tornadus is going to be Scarf, just due to the fact that it's used to be a pivot, and you kind of can't have a Scarf pivot. It's kind of tough because you'll just be clicking U-turn. But it's running Fusion Bolt and Fusion Flare. If you don't know, those two work off each other. If I use Fusion Flare first, Fusion Bolt's base attack goes from 100 to 200. So maybe using Fusion Flare on something, knocking it out, and then him bringing in a Watermon, boom, clicking Fusion Bolt. Grass Knot's obviously on there for the Mega Swampert. If Victini is ever on the field with Mega Swampert, I want the Rain to be gone. That way I outspeed it, hit Grass Knot, and I would hopefully have another Pokemon that I can switch out to, so that way I won't have to just sit in Choice Lock clicking Grass Knot. It also has V-Create on there just because it's the most powerful move, and if we do have to bring Victini in while the Rain is up, obviously not against Mega Swampert, I want to be able to click V-Create, get that kill, and then move out because of the negative effects to V-Create. Next we have our champion so far this season, Empoleon, running a Scald, Protect, Toxic, Stealth Rock sets. Now I do want to get Rocks up because, like I said, I don't want to just let him have free will, be all willy-nilly with the switches. I want him to be able to be taking damage with every switch he makes. So we're having Stealth Rocks on it. This can also be a lead if at the end of the day I change my mind, say, hey, I don't want to go Klefki, I want to go Empoleon. This can also be a lead. It's running Scald, Protect, Toxic. Get a Toxic on anything, protect yourself. It's 252 in the HP, 252 in defense, Bold Nature. It's just another wall. Like I said, most of these things are just walls. We do get offensive though with Mega Lopunny. Mega Lopunny is running Fake Out, Thunder Punch, High Jump Kick, and Return. Now I'm actually putting High Jump Kick on Mega Lopunny this week, even though I hate the move, because even though it's 90 base accuracy, I just feel like I always miss. But this moveset will allow it just to be a revenge killer. Just come in with the 252 speed, with the 252 EVs in the speed, Jolly Nature, just come in, pick off a kill, and then get out of there. This also has 252 in attack, and the other 4 EVs are just in the HP. Now this is the true MVP of the week, not the season. I really believe that's going to be Empoleon, but this is definitely the MVP of the week. Choice Specs Heliolisk with the dry skin ability, meaning all his water moves are going to do nothing but heal me, and also in the Rain I'll also be getting healed. It's running Thunderbolt, Hyper Voice, Volt Switch, and Power Fire. Hyper Voice is on there for the Mega Swampert because obviously Thunder moves, electric moves don't work on Mega Swampert, and Hidden Power Fire is on there for what Pokemon? I completely forgot. Oh, Kartana, because I believe he can go Kartana and kind of, I think he believes he can go Kartana or Chestnut and set up on Heliolisk. So I want to be able to hit that and hit it hard. So that's the team. Stay with me. Next year, we'll see the hooked up with Atlanta, and let me see. He brought Kartana, Pelipper, Chestnut, Mega Swampert, Goodra, and Escavalier. This is post-con, by the way. So at this point, I was thinking, hey, it might be dangerous to lead Klefki because if he leads Escavalier, um, Mega Horn does about 60 to 70% to me. So at this point, what I was thinking was maybe leading with Empoleon, but I've said, if anything, out of the 6 Pokemon that I brought, the one that I don't really care for is Klefki, because I still do have ways to deal with the Goodra. So I decided to keep my plan the same, lead with Klefki as he led Escavalier. At this point, I was like, hey, let me scout to see what he has. So I went for Protect as he went for Swords Dance, and at this point, I'm like, wow, now I'm really in trouble. So I decided to go for Spikes because I didn't want to switch out to anything, because I didn't want anything else to have chip on it. So at this point, I was like, hey, I'm just going to go get at least one layer of Spikes up, let him take down Klefki, and go from there. So that's what he does. He goes for Drill Run. I go to Victini, knowing that it was going to scare him away. It scared him into the Goodra, and who took, the 12% from the layer of Spikes. And then I went for V-Create just to get it down as much as possible. At this point, I'm like, okay, since my defenses are dropped, I'm going to switch out. I went to Empoleon as he switched to Escavalier. At this point, I was like, hey, I'm just going to get my rocks up. He went +2 with another Swords Dance. I said, hey, it looks like Drill Run might be the only move set on him. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch out to Mesprit because Drill Run's a ground move and Mesprit has Levitate. So I did that. I went for Psychic. It did a little bit of damage. He went for Knockoff. So now I'm like, okay, now I'm down 2 Mons, and Mesprit, I at least wanted Mesprit to have some kills before it went down. But so now I really have my back against the corner. So now everything I'm doing is no longer a plan. It's just going with the flow of the game. So I went to Lopunny, faked out, and then at this point I got the flinch, and then at this point I was like, hey, after the fake out damage, if I land the high jump kick, we should get the KO. And that's exactly what happened. He went to Pelipper. It takes 76% from the rocks. He switches straight out to Chesnaught as I go for the Thunder Punch. So that's a good read on him. I really didn't expect for him to read that. I thought he might be surprised by that, but he wasn't. He got his Spikes up. I went to Empoleon, got a Toxic up, but he has 2 layers of Spikes up, and now he has 3 layers. I go for Scald just to try to chip this thing down. He switches out to go to Goodra. Now the Goodra is getting really low after the Scald, and it's burnt. So now I'm like, is he going to have the rest? And he did have the rest, so he brought the Goodra back up. So now I'm in a really bad position just because I don't really have anything for that Goodra. So he goes for Thunderbolt, he gets the para. I just decided to stay and go for Scald. I'm like, hey, I'm just gonna, sack Empoleon. He went for another Thunderbolt. He's not Choice Scarf. He's not anything because he's using multiple moves. So at this point, I'm like, hey, let's just sack Empoleon because I don't want anything else just to come in and take that damage. So we go to Mega Lopunny. He switches out, go to Chesnaught. We're going to do the same thing we did before. We're going to go for the fake out, get the flinch. And then we're going to go for the return because at that point, return killed. He goes back into Pelipper. It's at 50%. Drizzle's obviously up. I go for return. It brings it down to 8. So it was a very bulky Pelipper. He goes for the Hurricane. He gets the kill. I just decided, hey, let's just go to Heliolisk, go Hyper Voice, because whoever comes in next, that's the only move we can really click. He comes in with the Pelipper, but as you know, Pelipper in Swift Swim, he just outspeeds the rest of my team. So unfortunately, we did suffer another loss this week, and it stinks. It stinks because Rain Team, you kind of think like, hey, it's a Rain Team, you know what they want to do, so it should be easy to build against, but it's really not. It's really not easy to build against a Rain Team just because, like, yeah, you know what they want to do, but he only needs 2 Pokemon to have that Rain Team. He only needs Pelipper and Swampert. He still has 4 other mons you have to prepare for, and I just don't think we prepared too well. I definitely think Klefki may have just been a failure. Probably should have just brought something else. But I was going to bring Mamoswine, but Mamoswine got destroyed by Kartana and by Swampert, so I didn't really have too many options. So that was the team we went with. We tried our best. We are currently 2-2 in the UTBL. We started out hot with 2 wins, but we're kind of on a little drought. So next week we're definitely going to do our best to get a win. And hopefully let's do our best to make this our last loss this season. Right now, Atlanta, after beating me, he's 4-0. So he's most likely going to be in the playoffs. So we'll most likely see him again. And I think by then we'll have a better team because we can make transactions. But I didn't want to make any transactions until after the fifth week, because that's when we'll really know who's useful and who's not, and what do we need, and like what holes do we have. So that's it for the video. If you enjoyed yourself, please think about subscribing, hit the like button, share it, hit the comment section so we can talk. And yeah, that's it. I'm out. Deuces.